final video for the children's novels and the past revisited series. Let's get on with it. First, we're going to start off with M.D. Spence's Shivers, Madness at the Mall. That's a great cover. Unfortunately, it also lies to you because this scene never takes place in the book. As a matter of fact, what you get is a really crappy ghost story of ghost animals and a video game style scenario, along with the main teenage guy basically floating through the air from one level to the next. And that's where I'm going to leave it. This book is a real bad book. It's terrible. Absolutely horrible. But has a great title. And as you can see, both title and cover, very, very misleading. Right, moving on, we can get to M.D. Spence's Shivers, Watch 'Em Kill. Again, actually no, this one is actually a pretty decent looking cover. Unfortunately, it's also a very misleading cover because as you can, this little goblin, gremlin style creature does not actually make an appearance in the book. The monsters featured in the book are the classic universal monsters, as in Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the mummy, the Wolfman, who else? Oh yeah, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. So, false advertising on the front cover, but otherwise a pretty decent story. Lags here and there a few times actually. But for the most part, it's a pretty decent story and would probably make a pretty decent Halloween movie as well for the young children's audience. Kids, children, bloody hell. So, we move on to R.L. Stine's Ghosts of Fear Street, How to Be a Vampire. This book had a lot of potential. It's okay. It's not great, not brilliant, but it's okay. However, it does actually suffer from a pretty bad ending, specifically when it comes to the destruction of the vampire character. It also has a very predictable ending, which you can see right from the get-go, so it's not going to be too much of a surprise to you as you start to dig into the book. But there are one or two moments of genius scene setting that I really do actually find fantastic. Unfortunately, this had so much potential and it could have been way better than it actually is. But would I recommend you to read it? This one's a take it or leave it. Bringing this one back into the limelight. This one definitely you should read. Of course, this one, Madness at the Mall, you should ignore. And then we're going to probably get down to my final book from the R.L. Stine's past revisited Ghosts of Fear Street series. And I like this book for several reasons. One, because it's actually a pretty decent story. Also, it is the first book in the Ghosts of Fear Street line, so it really sets everything up for how the remainder of the series actually turns out, which is that these are individual books featuring a completely different cast of characters for each one, but they all seem to go to the same school and they all live on Fear Street, or at least are connected to Fear Street in some way. Also, one of the things that I like about this book is the cover, though it's technically misleading because you don't get to see any skeletons in this book, as it deals with a ghost and not really skeleton dead dudes walking around. But look at that. Let's just take a moment to appreciate this cover. My God, man, this is a beautiful cover. This is the one thing I actually really miss about the 90s. And also about the 80s, really. Because we used to get some of the best book covers, video covers, all the time. And now it's all that... Well, okay, I have no idea what most of the book covers are now. But yeah, going through the recent selection of books in the local bookstore, you just don't get artwork like this anymore. Now, as in terms of the story, this one is actually a really, really good story, although it is a bit, how should you say, a bit of a downer towards the end of the book, especially how the main evil ghost protagonist, Pete character, ends up biting the dust. But beyond that, this is actually probably the one that has the most potential to be a really good scary film for kids, and it also features a female character as the lead, so yeah, we're living in the age of strong female characters now. So if there was any book from the Ghosts of Fear Street series that should be adapted for a Halloween film, I would definitely recommend this one, Ghosts of Fear Street. I would go into more detail, but then, that'd be ruining the book for you. Right, so now that we've gone through all of the children's horror past revisited books, I do have others, but I'm not going to bother with those, since this was only supposed to be a small minor series. The next set of books will be the R.L. Stein and Christopher Pike teenage novels.